What's the deal, baby? You already know. Big boss hog, boss dog, cake poke through the dope. Here to talk to his boxing. What's good with you? Boy, got his Houston shirt on because, I'm putting on for my city. You know what I mean? I don't live in Houston no more, I ain't lived in Houston in a minute. I live on the outskirts of Houston, but I work in Houston. That's where I'm heading right now. I'm heading to work. But, yeah, man, we want to talk about that boy Crawford, man. TBC. Terence Crawford. So, I watched his Fight Hub interview, and shout out to them, and shout out to Terence Crawford for doing the interview, man. Terence Crawford, man, he seemed like a cool dude, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's just, that's what he seemed like, you know what I'm saying? But I don't really care about that. You know what I'm saying? He's just gonna give us that. I don't, when it comes to dudes, I don't really care, You got dudes looking at dudes. Yeah, I like his personality. Yeah, I don't care about none of that stuff, man. I respect him as a fighter. I care that he fight. It's like I respect Jaron Enis as a fighter. I don't look at the other stuff. I'm not into that. Let me tell you something about Boss. Boss not into that man-fan bull job, man. I don't be caring about none of that stuff. I don't understand how y'all be so, like, in love with these dudes. Like, bro, I don't get it, man. Like I said, I'm a fan of the sport, man. I respect the sport, man. I don't have, one fighter I just like more than the other. Like, I just respect all fighters because I've been in that ring, and any man that can get in that ring, I'm telling you, I respect them. I respect anybody who stepped foot in that square circle. You know what I mean? And that's just what it is. It's not easy. It ain't easy to get in there and get punched in your face. It's not. You know what I mean? I already told y'all the journey of walking to that ring is not easy, bro. You sitting there thinking all type of stuff. Like, dang, I'm really finna get in here and fight. Dang. First of all, a lot of times you don't feel man, one time, man, I walked in the ring, I couldn't feel my legs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, and one time I got punched, well, I was like, all right, what's up? You know what I mean? Other than that, I was like, it's not easy, bro. You know what I mean? It's not easy. I don't care. Even for Errol, even for Terence Crawford, for all of them. Even for Floyd. Floyd may not admit it, but he get nervous too. You know what I'm saying? It's just, he see what they doing, and he like, oh, that's it? Oh, okay. That's what it is. Me, once I get hit, all right, it's game time. You know what I mean? It take me to get hit for me to be like, all right. You know what I mean? It's different for everybody. Some people, they can walk in that ring and lock in. I gotta get punched. You hit me, all right. That's when it's a wrap. That's it. You know what I mean? That's when I'm like, bet. That's when I lock in. You know what I mean? It's crazy. But anyway, Terence Crawford, in his interview with Fight Hub TV, he said, I know that Jaron Enis didn't want to win the belt that way. He said, I know he would rather fight a champion to get that belt. And he said, I don't understand why, basically, he kind of threw a little shade. He said, I don't get why, Jaron Enis is cool with being getting his belt in the mail. He was like, I would have told them, hey, let me fight the number 3 guy to get the belt. Now, granted, little Terence Crawford know that Jaron Enis is supposed to fight Cody Crowley, right? And I'm assuming it was for that belt, right? But Cody Crowley backed out of the fight, right? He backed out. So, what else is Jaron Enis supposed to do? He got people not wanting to fight him, backing out of fights. If I'm not mistaken, Terence Crawford has never had nobody back out of a fight with him. Now, y'all claim that people avoided him, but he's even admitted in the interview when they was talking about Shakur, right? About promotional sides. He said that, you know, it was boxing politics and promotions the reason why I couldn't get fights, right? So he's indirectly admitting that, okay, these dudes weren't avoiding me, it was just promotion. Like I say, he said it, I ain't said it, right? But another thing he said I want to point out, he talked about how Jaron Enis is in the same place he was, where, you know, which kind of contradicts, but whatever. I'm just repeating what he said. He said that Jaron Enis is in the same place he was, where he couldn't get fights, and, you know, he felt like he was being blackballed, you know, and, you know, but in due time, he'll get those fights. Now, he's acknowledging that, right? So my question to Terence Crawford, why do the same thing to him that you say happened to you? Why sit there and blackball Jaron Enis and make him feel like he need to prove himself? Kind of like what they did with Errol Spence. They told Errol, you need to prove yourself, right? So why put him in that predicament? Why put him in that situation when you could just eliminate that narrative? This is what I'm talking about. This is what a lot of fighters want to talk about, things that need to happen in boxing that need to change, but they don't want to be the change. They don't want to be the person to eliminate that. Now, granted, Terence Crawford also talked about in an interview that, hey, I couldn't, you know, when it comes to the, you know, when he's talking about the IBF, he said, man, I couldn't, you know, they knew I had to fight Errol Spence. They know that. I had to fight Errol Spence in a rematch. I couldn't just not fight Errol and go fight Jaron Enis. He's right. I'll say he's right. But there's a big old but in that. I don't know why the news helicopter right here. Something must have happened. There's a big old but, right? I ain't talking about no woman booty. I'm talking about but, like, you know, in a sentence, like, but, you know, this. I forgot something. Oh, okay, I'm back. My bad. I got distracted. So he could have contacted the IBF and sat there and told them, hey, look, I got this fight with Errol Spence, you know, coming up. But hey, after I fight Errol Spence, I will fight Jaron Enis. You got my word. And put it in writing, and he'd be like, look, we can even sign some type of legal binding document that's making, you know, that's granting me that, you know, guaranteeing that, you know, I will fight Jaron Enis after I fight Errol Spence. And that's it. Because, you know, they're not fighting for no belts. Him and Errol and Terence not fighting for no belts. You know what I mean? They just fighting. So, you know, I mean, the situation is what it is. You know, Errol not fighting for belts and stuff like that. They just finna fight. You know what I mean? So I think if he would have did that and contacted the IBF and let them know, like, hey, look, I fight Jaron Enis after I fight Errol. Right? Because he 100% believes, and his bud buddies believe, that he gonna beat Errol Spence again. So if that's the case, then go ahead and make that happen. Make that situation happen. Yeah. Make that situation occur. You know what I'm saying? Go out there and sign that contract without the IBF saying, hey, this. I'm telling you, I'll fight Jaron Enis. And then go from there. Fight Errol Spence, and if you beat him, fight Jaron Enis. Easy money. You know what I'm saying? Or you could have did it like this. But, you know, because if Errol win, Errol said he going on 54. You know? But like I said before, at the end of the day, it seems like Bud Crawford wants to stay at 147. So, just he could have did that and went that route. In my opinion. But no. Bud didn't want to do that. Because Bud want to do what Bud want to do. And he's trying to, you know, just be like, y'all need to bow down to me type thing. You know what I'm saying? And everybody ain't bowing down to you, bro. You know what I'm saying? And IBF is like, look, I can't keep this dude waiting. Now, granted, Crawford said they should have stripped Spence before the fight, you know, because they knew that Errol and Terence had a rematch clause in their, you know, in their contract. And I could partially agree with that. You know what I'm saying? I could partially agree with that. But I would say this. I guarantee if Errol Spence would have beat Terence Crawford, Errol Spence's team would have contacted the IBF and say, look, we'll fight Jaron Enis after this Terence Crawford fight. And that would have been it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that at the end of the day, you know, it's just one of those situations where Bud didn't do what he needed to do to make sure he keep that belt. Now, when it comes to Jaron Enis, a lot of y'all feel like, oh, why y'all talking about Boots? No, y'all Boots fans, blah, blah, blah. I told y'all, when you're talking about, make sure you have your ducks in a row. I'm a fan of boxing, not fighters. So at the end of the day, I want to see the best fight the best. I'm a consumer first. You know what I'm saying? Jaron Enis is a top welterweight. Name another top welterweight other than Jaron Enis. We already know Terence Crawford. Errol Spence, you know, we don't know if he's still at welterweight. He's saying he want to go 154. So we don't know what he is. So you got Terence Crawford, and then who else other than Jaron Enis? Who you gonna name? We don't know what Keith Thurman is. Keith Thurman might go 154 too. So, like I said before, we don't know. The only other name out there is Jaron Enis, who's a top 147 pounder. That's the only other top welterweight right currently now. You know what I'm saying? Other than Terence Crawford is Jaron Enis. So he's the next top guy at the weight class. Why not fight him? You know what I mean? I don't understand it. You know what I mean? And I was the main one also saying that Errol should fight Boots. Now, granted, I did say after that Boots had that poor performance against that guy, I forgot his name, some of the K, Kazakazan or whatever his name is, I said that he may not be ready. But then Boots came back with a better performance, you know what I mean? And he showed that he learned from that fight. So then I said, okay, yeah, Jaron Enis versus Errol would be a tremendous fight. You get what I mean? I definitely watch that. Definitely, in the words of Errol Spence, watch that fight. I like the fight. I think it's, you know, it's good for boxing. You know what I mean? Terence Crawford versus Jaron Enis is good for boxing in the welterweight division. You got two guys who are crafty, right? Crafty, skillful guys, right? I don't know why Terence feels like that's not a big fight. So I don't understand it. It's like he trying to low-key do the same thing that he claimed happened to him to Boots. He like one of them old niggas that, you ever worked at a job and you got that old dude that's at your job and he like, man, I had to wait. I had to wait to get this, so, you know, you gotta wait. He one of them niggas. Man, they did this to me, so I'm about to do the same thing to you. It's like, bro, nah, bro. Be the change. Y'all talk about fighters control the sport. Be the change. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is, G. Like, I know this is like kind of different, but in the black community, man, our parents be beating the brakes off our kids, man. We be beating the brakes off our kids. No explanation. You know what I'm saying? No explanation. Man, I remember I was a kid, I was watching TV. I did something I wasn't supposed to do. And my dad just came boop, 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 boop. And I didn't know why. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know why. You know? So now, what I do is I make sure that I articulate. You know what I'm saying? I said, you know, if I was to give my kids some form of discipline, whereas, you know, take something away from them, you know, whatever it is, you know, they will know the reason why. It's not just a boo boo, boo boo, kick in the head, thrown into the window, like ain't none of that going down, man. You know what I'm saying? And I just wanted to make sure, you know, so, but I'm being the change. You know what I'm saying? I'm changing the, you know, the image, my family, you know, them boys wild, you know, but that's the old school way. You feel me? You know, now, you know, we change it a little bit. You feel me? So I definitely think that, you know, Bud got to be the change. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Let's go.